just tell him I rose up. I'm a survivor. Fight for my life. Coming back stronger. I will rise. I'm a survivor. Fight for my life. Coming back stronger.
What's up guys, hope you're all well, welcome back to the channel. So this week, Southampton take on Blackburn at Ewood Park on Saturday, so we're going to be previewing that match, but also we're going to be reviewing all the matches that we've had in these past couple of weeks. So we're going to be reviewing the Swansea game and the Bristol City game, and I'm going to be sharing my thoughts and opinions on those matches, and we will also be looking at statistics and what I think Saints need to improve on coming into the Saturday game against Blackburn. So guys, for the next 10 to 15 minutes I'll be discussing the match statistics from the Swansea game and the Bristol City game and what went right and what went wrong. So guys, if you do enjoy this video, make sure to drop a like on this video. Let's try and go for 100 likes on today's video. That's the like target for today, and let's get straight into it, shall we? Okay guys, let's start with the Saturday game that we just had against Swansea City. Overall, it's a disappointing result, isn't it? It ended 0-0. Yes, we didn't lose, but we should really be winning games like this. No disrespect to Swansea, and I mean this when I say this, and every single respect that I show. We really shouldn't be losing games like this, especially if our main goal is to try and get promoted back to the Premier League. These are the sort of games that we should be winning. If you look at the statistics here, it sort of shows we are by far the better team throughout the entire game. We had about 21 shots and 8 of them were on target, and it ended 0-0, which just shows how really poor we were in front of goal. We had lots of shots, as it shows, 21 shots. That's a lot of shots in the game, but you've got to try and put those chances away. 8 on goal, which means that you should have at least had about 1 or 2 in the back of the net at least. And I was there, obviously. I go to all the home games that I can make, and hey mate, what? Did you know that over 85% of people have not subscribed to this channel yet? Wait, really? I know, it's mad. Are they trying to take the mick right now? Don't start laughing, it's not a laughing matter. Oh my god, that's hilarious. Stop laughing, it's not funny. We've got lots of really good content coming up in the next few weeks. Oh really? Well, if you've got some really good content coming in the next few weeks, they better click the button then, haven't they? Subscribe to the Struggle channel now and be the first to witness any of the future videos that are coming out in the next few weeks. We've got some really good content coming up, so make sure to subscribe and join the journey. It was very disappointing, especially because where I sit, you guys know where I sit where I film the vlogs. Right in front of me, I saw about 3 big chances missed, and it was very disappointing. The star man for that match for me was Leo Cienza. He did get the man of the match, but I really like him. I think he's a very, very good, promising player. Another player that I might have to highlight here is Caspiano. I think he looks like a very promising talent as well. But you've got to work as a whole team. You can't just rely on the other players who look good to try and give you opportunities to score. We have to be winning games like this. We can't keep drawing games. This right here was our 6th draw of the season. We've only won 2 games all season. It's very bad at the moment, and obviously we lost to Bristol City on the Tuesday. We'll come on to them in a second, but so far this season it hasn't been great. We have to try and put our chances away, and we have to be better defensively as well. Yes, we didn't concede on this day, but in other days, for example, the Bristol City game, we just keep shipping in lots of goals, and that shouldn't even be going in. Let's look at another statistic now. We had 57% possession. Now, in most games, possession doesn't really mean a lot. You can have the fewest amount of possession and still win the game if you take your chances. But 57% just shows how many shots we had. It's those shots right there that really concern me, because if you in reality, and if you're looking at the Premier League, if a team has had 21 shots, you expect them to score at least 3 or 4 from that, don't you? But I know we're not in the Premier League, we're in the Championship, but you should still be scoring from that amount of opportunities. It's very disappointing. 5 corners as well, which means we could have scored from them as well, but we just didn't take our chances, and that's what's really frustrating me about this season. We have lots of good chances, but we just can't put them away. The only players that seem like scoring this season at the moment is Adam Armstrong. He scored 3 in his last 5 games, and 4 now, isn't he? Because he scored against Bristol City, but it's still four goals in his last 5 matches. And I would also point out Ross Stewart, even though he's injured, he did score 2 goals against Sheffield United to give us the win over them. But again, the last time I saw Southampton really fighting for the win, the last time I felt really, really impressed from our performances and coming away really happy was probably when we had Russell Martin in the Championship. Last season in the Premier League, none of us really came out buzzing with a performance, did we? 12 points, bottom of the Premier League. We didn't really have much to celebrate then, but it's the same this season. We currently sit 18th in the table. That's really bad when it comes to teams that have just come down from the Premier League and are trying to get back up to the Premier League. It's really bad. It's a really, really bad start. And the same can go for all 3 relegated sides. Ipswich haven't started that great. Leicester not putting teams away like they should be. They just lost to Hull City. Ipswich lost to Charlton. All 3 of us are really ashamed this season so far, but hopefully, it's still early doors. Hopefully, we can still push on this season and get as high as in the table as we can. But at the moment, when it comes to Saints, it's really hard to see where we're actually going to place, because at the moment it doesn't look like we're trying to, push for the top 2 of the playoffs. At the moment, it looks as though we're only trying to focus on being above Pompey, which is not where we should be looking at. We should be looking at, with the quality we've got, we should be looking at the top 2. We should be looking at the bare minimum, the playoffs. That's where we should be looking at. But when we get results like this, it gets concerning, doesn't it? And yeah, let's move on to the Bristol City game, and I've got a lot of things to say about this one. Right then, guys, let's move on to the Bristol City game now then, and again, I think this one was more disappointing than the Swansea game. Bristol City are a good side. They have been good this season. They've been blowing teams away. They beat Sheffield United 4-1 away at Bramall Lane at the start of the season, but they have been very good. They haven't really been hitting the ground running like a lot of people probably would have thought they would have, but they have still been quite good. They've got a lot of good players. Scott Twine is a player that I really like in their team. Mametti is a good player for them as well. But again, this is another team that Southampton should be beating. The statistic did come up that we haven't beaten Bristol City in a really long time at Ashton Gate, but again, we should be winning the games like this, especially when we're trying to get back up to the Premier League, or at least trying to fight for the promotion spots. Let's look at the statistics now, and these are very disappointing. Total shots 12 to Bristol City's 11. We both had a lot of shots. We had 6 on target. Bristol City had 4. We had 67% possession. They had 33. Again, possession doesn't really mean a lot. Quite clearly shows we had more possession, but we lost. Fouls don't really matter. We had 2 yellow cards, 2 there, 1. No red cards, thank God for that. We had 3 offsides. That was probably Adam Armstrong. Well, whenever I watch Adam Armstrong play, he really loves going into an offside position, doesn't he? But corner kicks, we had 3 to their 2, and their keeper had to make 5 saves. So for the first 30 minutes, I thought Saints actually looked good. We actually looked quite composed on the ball. We looked calm. No, we weren't really panicking. I don't know what it is. Whenever we score, or when whoever scores when it comes to us in a match, we always go into panic mode, and it's really awkward to see. So see here, because Adam Armstrong scores in the 29th minute. Thought we played well up until that point. Adam Armstrong scored a good goal, and then literally 4 minutes later, we allow Bristol City back into the game with a mistake at the back. It was a very poor goal. Let's be honest here. All 3 goals that Bristol City scored came from our own mistakes. Bristol City didn't really have to work hard for any of the goals that they scored. The only goal that I thought was really, really good was Scott Twine's second goal to make it 3-1. I thought that one was quite good. It was a good shot, but again, all 3 goals came from our own mistakes, and we really need to stop doing that. If there's one thing that we really need to improve on, it's trying to keep the back line focused and for the vast majority of the game. Because what we've seen so far this season is that because Will still came in to make us try and be better defensively and to try and get us to win more games. But what we're seeing at the moment is that we are still shipping in lots of stupid goals that we shouldn't really be conceding. The second goal for Bristol City was very poor. I thought Alex McCarthy probably should have saved that. Maybe he didn't know that it was. Maybe he thought it was going to hit the post or miss the goal, but we should really still be better defensively with that. The first goal was an error between 2 players. I think Ryan Fraser, he's not a defender, is he? He's more of an attacker. That's what we bought him for. We bought him to play on the wings. We didn't buy him to play as a defender, did we? But you can blame Russell Martin for that. He's the guy that put him there in the first place, that started him in the defensive position in the first place. If Ryan Fraser was on the other side of Mehmeti, Mehmeti probably would have been offside. But what also didn't help was the fact that I'm not going to blame Nathan Wood too much because he has been really good this season. I think that was his first major mistake. But it was the flick, wasn't it? It was the flick that allowed Mehmeti to run down and make it 1-1. It's just really disappointing, isn't it? With the goals that we can see, we shouldn't really be conceding them. And honestly, the third goal was made from one of our players. I think it was Yanda giving the ball away. Tell you what, guys, I'm not even trying to have a laugh with this. You can laugh at it if you want, but I think if there was ever a football league table that was based on teams that give the ball away the most, we'd be winning that league easily. Because throughout that entire game, if you've watched the game, you saw how many times we gave the ball away. It was very, very disappointing. And I want to talk about the chances that we create, because we create so many chances, but obviously we can't put them away. It shows here 12 shots, 6 on target. We've only got one on goal there. But there was a point where Cameron Archer could have made it 2-1 or 2-0. I can't remember which way around it would have been. But Cameron Archer, you can tell he's out of confidence, because what he tried to do is he tried to do what Adam Armstrong did. He tried to flick it over the keeper. He probably could have passed it round the keeper and it probably would have slotted in there. But that's what happens when you've got strikers that are out of confidence, isn't it? You can tell that they are out of confidence, because the only one that does have a lot of confidence at the moment is Adam Armstrong. He's the one that's scoring so far, and if Ross Stewart wasn't injured, he probably would have scored a lot more as well. So it is disappointing, isn't it? I'm not going to do a player rating sort of video, because that will take ages. They'll make this video go from 10 minutes to 30 minutes, but yeah, disappointing result against Bristol City. We really need to step up now. If we want to get up to the Premier League or get into the playoffs at least, we really, really need to step up, because if we keep losing games like this, we won't get into the playoffs. We'll just be stuck in the Championship for another season. And I don't think a lot of Saints fans really want that. I know a lot of Saints fans are also saying that we are in a rebuild season sort of thing, but I want to see my team improve. I want to see us make a lot more progress, if that makes sense. But yeah, let's move on to the Blackburn game and see what my thoughts are on that game. Right then, guys, time to move on to the Blackburn game at the weekend, which already seems like a must win for the Saints. We both have had very poor starts to the season. Southampton sit 18th, one place below Pompey. damn it. But Blackburn sit in 23rd place, which is in the relegation zone. So this is a must win game for the Saints. If Saints don't win this one, or if we lose it, that puts a lot of pressure on us, especially with Will Still. Now, with the performances we've been putting in, a lot of people will be pointing fingers at Will Still, but I fully back him. I still fully back him. We can't keep sacking and changing managers because it's for in a long time it's not going to work, is it? Look at Watford. They've changed managers like 22 times already. And where's that got them? That's got them struggling mid-table in the Championship. So, what we don't want to do is we don't want to be like Watford. We don't want to keep changing managers and just struggle in the Championship. I think it's about time that we finally stuck with a manager. And I really like Will Still. He's adaptable. He changes his play style. He'll look at a team and it'll be like, right, if this is how they play, then this is how we're going to set up. But what he doesn't have is the players to play his style properly. We've got good defenders, we've got good midfield, but what we don't have is a real leader. We don't have a real captain. Adam Armstrong and Jack Stevens, they're okay, but when on the pitch do you ever see them going to the players, like, come on, wake up, come on, focus a bit, or telling them to, move the ball up, or telling them to, wake up or something. You don't really see them doing that, do you? You usually just see them running around on the field. You don't really see them talking to the players. It's odd to see, and I know we're linked with James Ward-Prowse, and as unlikely as it might seem, we hope we get him because he is a leader. He's been our captain before. We know that as Saints fans, and I feel like he's a very good captain. He's someone that will tell the players, wake up, come on, what are you doing, or focus a bit more, or stop passing the ball sloppily. I think he'll be a really, really good addition to our squad. And what we also don't have is a player that will really go in for like tackles. We need someone who will really tackle the ball off of other teams and allow us to push the ball up and get it into the back of the net. What we also need to work on is the striker position, because strikers at Southampton has been a real problem for a lot of years now. We haven't really had a proper striker in quite some time. Damien Downs, I really, really want him to come good. He does not deserve the amount of abuse that he's been getting. He don't go after someone's family like that. If you're going to criticise them, do it in a respectful manner. Don't go over and just like bombard him with lots of, threats or abuse, because that's not going to work. That's not how you build up someone's confidence. That's how you lose someone's confidence. That's how you get someone to be in a really bad situation, in which I can imagine Damien Downs is at the moment, because, he hasn't been that good since we bought him, but I still want him to come good. I really want him to do well for Saints, but we have to get behind him. If you want him to do well, we have to get behind him. We have to cheer for him. We have to, show him the respect. But again, we've got lots of Adam Armstrong. He's more of a winger, but he does still score goals. He's okay, but he's too. The thing with Cameron Archer and Adam Armstrong is that they're quite short. So whenever we try and do crosses into the box, they're never tall enough to get headers into the goal. We saw that against Bristol City when we tried to do crosses. Both of them barely got their head onto the ball, and it was just looking very awkward. But we've also got the likes of Ross Stewart, who's now out injured again. We sold a striker in Don Ballard, who's now doing very well for Leyton Orient, but it's very awkward for Saints right now. And this is another reason why we should be beating. Well, we should try and beat Blackburn on Saturday. We both have the same amount of wins. We've both got 2 wins. We've got 3 losses compared to Blackburn's 7. Blackburn have had 1 draw. We've had 6. So we should be beating Blackburn on Saturday. If we don't win that one, it gets very concerning. and that just starts setting out alarm bells for this season. It just starts making us doubt every time after that. So yeah, it's a very, very big game on Saturday. I'm going to go with a 2-1 win for the Saints, but that's a must win. We have to win this one. I'm sorry, Blackburn. I've got a lot of respect for Blackburn. I think they're one of my soft spot clubs. I've got a really big soft spot for Blackburn, but we have to beat them on Saturday. We can't lose. We can't draw. It has to be a win. If we want to look like a serious team and try and push for the playoffs or try and get promoted either way, we have to beat them. We have to win games like this. We can't lose. We can't draw. Must win. So yeah, guys, share your thoughts in the comments on how you think this preview went. Share your thoughts on how Southampton will be doing this season, and share your thoughts on your opinions on Saints this season. What do you think needs to change? What do you guys think we need to improve on? And yeah, that's going to do it for my video today. I hope you guys have all enjoyed. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care, everybody.